you search occupants of a motor vehicle based on a canine sniff? All right, this officer works in Tennessee, says, hey, I want to get some clarification when it comes to searching vehicle occupants based on a positive canine alert. I know that you talked before about, you cannot search the occupants automatically because of a canine alert, right? Because they're more secure, and there's a different analogy or doctrine that applies to people and cars and so forth. You also mentioned in another webinar that you need a nexus between the occupants and the canine alert, right? But what about the drivers? Are the drivers easier to articulate versus the passengers? Okay, so that's the question. Let me give you some feedback. Okay, this is probably one of the most misunderstood areas of the law, right? And you are going to have people out there that teach search and seizure, and they're going to, just kind of maybe embellish what the law is here, right? They'll take a couple cases, and I think in my interpretation, they just take things out of context, and they think, oh, so this case, see, this is a dog alert case, and they also search the passengers, therefore alert means passenger. That's not the rule, okay? It's a little more complicated than that. So let's first start off with a couple doctrines. The first doctrine is the Carol Doctrine, the motor vehicle exception. That allows you to search a motor vehicle with probable cause. That's easy, right? The Supreme Court has been very, very clear that the alerts or other probable cause gets you into the motor vehicle. Then we have a case called DeRye, a case from the 1940s, where that the cop searched a passenger merely because he was in the car and he had probable cause for the driver and the vehicle. The Supreme Court says, no, that's not the way this works, right? You don't get to search passengers. He has rights. I mean, does this mean that if you have probable cause that an Uber driver is illegally smoking weed or whatever has contraband, that you can search whoever happens to be in the car? That's not how that works, right? You're going to need what's called a nexus. All right. Let's go to another case called Anchondo. Anchondo is a 10th Circuit case that is, in my view, a little overread, right? So basically what you had in Anchondo is that you had a dog alert with Anchondo, which is the driver. He also had a passenger, but he had a driver. But, from my reading the case, it appears that he was actually in the vehicle twice during an alert. Then the cop gets him out. And after they fruitlessly search the vehicle, right? They can't find. And then Anchondo says, you're not going to find drugs in that car. Well, okay, then where are the drugs, right? He was in the vehicle. He's the driver. It alerted. So they search him and they find the narcotics. But the problem is Anchondo is not the passenger. And I'm not saying that you couldn't search the passenger in Anchondo. I'm just saying, don't think that it's automatic. They had more things going on there. They had the multiple car alerts with them inside the vehicle. They had his statement that he was that they're not going to find drugs in the car, right? And they didn't find drugs in the car. They searched the car first. So this whole nexus deal is not a high standard, but it is a standard. So please, I'm going to put a couple cases in here. Also, that I'm going to put in a case called State versus Smith from North Carolina that actually kind of talk about Anchondo and how, that he was not a passenger, right? He was the driver. So in a nutshell, we can go on and on about this. And these are things that I bring up in my class. But in a nutshell, here's some takeaways. Number one, I got to tell you, searching the drivers based on a canine alert is almost never going to be an issue, right? It's just not. They're presumed to have control and dominion control of the contraband. It's going to be the passengers, right, that get searched just because they're taking a ride with somebody who happens to have contraband in their vehicle. Put the connection together. What do you see about this passenger that leads you to believe that they are also involved in criminal activity? Are they abnormally nervous, evasive? Are their reactions and things that they say not consistent with innocence? Are they trying to flee the traffic stop? Do they have a relevant and recent criminal history, right? Do they also visit a known drug house? What else do you have besides the person taking a ride from his friend? We know that the evidence is there. It's your job to find it. All right? Capiche? Make sense? Keep up the good work. I hope this video has helped you get it right every single time.